Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Wade and this is the 996 Guy channel. If you're new to the channel, I am Wade and I make videos about my 2003 Porsche 996. I've owned the car since the summer of 2015, and this is actually part 2 of a video series that I'm doing where I go over the it's almost like an anniversary series where I'm talking about all the things that have happened in the last 10 years. And in this particular video, I want to talk about what the cost of ownership for my car has been for the last 10 years. So what I did was I put together a list of things that I had fixed in the car over the last 10 years. These are all the major things. I kept anything, what I did was I kept it above $500. And you know, these are the whoppers. These are the ones that cost me a lot of money, or anything major that I had done to the car. And that way it can kind of give you guys an idea as to, you know, what some of these major services cost for a 996 if you're looking to get into one. And what I also did was put them in chronological order, and I included labor, but I didn't include like any kind of disposal fee. And the reason I kept it at $500 or more is because there's been times where I brought the car in for an oil change, and you know, the mechanic will put like a bulb or a couple bulbs and a piece of trim, or you know, whatever, and it'll bring the total to like $300-400. And that's happened frequently throughout my ownership of the car. So I figured, you know, just keep the major stuff on the list, you know. So here we go. Here's the list. So this is the first one that's on the list. Kept me up at night before I even bought the car. It was a hot topic about 10 years ago. Everybody was talking about it on forums and message boards, and you can probably guess what it is. The newest thing is bore scoring, but back then it was the IMS bearing. And I took it in early 2016. It was January 2016. And he did the LN Engineering IMS bearing upgrade, and he put some fuel additive in it, clutch slave cylinder, air cabin filter, air filter, cabin filter, oil drain plug, brake cleaner, oil filter kit, sealing washers, and oil, and all that came to $2,100, which is really good. Back then it was really good, you know, 10 years ago, but I don't think that an IMS upgrade kit would cost anywhere near that. It would probably be double if I had to guess. So I was very fortunate to find my mechanic, and that was actually his first major service on my car, and he has been taking care of my car ever since. And then in 2016, I had the window regulator fixed for $897. I believe that was like sometime in the summer of 2016. I don't remember exactly when. I didn't write down dates. And then in 2017, I did the ignition switch for $720. And then in 2018, I did the starter motor for another $720. And then in 2019, and then this is where things start to kind of build up. There's a lot more money being spent on the car, and as you'll see, there's major services that I just recently, when I say recently, within the last like 3 years, had done. And then again in 2019, I did nothing major. It was an oil change, hood struts, oil additive, wiper blades, and some bulbs, and that came to, whoops. That came to $530, so that's just over the $500 threshold. In 2020, I did the coolant reservoir, did the cap, clutch switch, and that came out to $1,008. And then this is a big one. This is again in 2020, the AOS, the air oil separator, spark plugs, ignition coils, and that came out to $1,791. The air oil separator, or AOS, is actually a pretty big one, because from what I've read online, if you don't fix that in time, the AOS can be the source of bore scoring, and I'll talk about bore scoring in another video, but that is what everybody's all freaked out about now. You know, they worry about, you know, the engine exploding because of scored bores and you know, cracked piston heads, these are all valid things to worry about. An engine rebuild is very expensive for these cars, and I'll go over that in another video as well. And then in, let's see, 2021, I had the clutch replaced and the transmission mount, and that came out to $2,356. Now, if I had done that in 2016, like other people said I should have done when he did the IMS bearing upgrade, I would have saved myself a lot of money. But of course, why would I do that? Why would I make things easy for myself? I don't know. So that was a chunk of change. And then this is where the car starts to strand me. Up until then, you know, you can see the amounts starting to creep up, but the car had never stranded me. But then in 2021, the coolant pump went. So he put in a new coolant pump, a low temperature thermostat, serpentine belt, and yeah, that came out to $1,782. So as you can see, the amounts are starting to creep up, and things are, you know, the car's getting older, so, you know, it makes sense that parts are starting to wear out, and you know, I'm starting to spend more money on it. And then I got stranded again in 2022. The battery and the starter. This is the second starter for the car. I don't know what happened. That came out to $1,049. And then since then, I haven't had anything major. Everything since 2022 has been under the $500 mark. I know that sounds funny to say this, even though the car stranded me 3 times, but the car has been good to me for the most part. You know, it's just major components going out, wearing out. So the math on that comes out to $19,127. That's on the low end. That doesn't include the oil changes, the tires, registration, all that. And I'll go over all that stuff in another video. I'll go over what kind of oil the mechanic uses, what he recommends. I'll do a whole video on bore scoring, what he found out about my engine, and just you know, all the fun stuff that everybody freaks out about. So if you like the video, please comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Here's a quick side view. It's pretty dirty, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and I don't want to wash the car. Maybe I'll wipe it down with some waterless car wash or something. But yeah, it's pretty dirty. Take care.